Shannon Rutherford, the town planner for Farmington. We will start with a roll call of our Town Plan and Zoning Commission. Pat Carrier,
Here.
Mike Grabilis,
Here.
Scott Halstead,
Here.
Matt Hutwagner,
Here.
Liz Sanford. Here. Inez St. James.
Here.
And our alternates have got Bobby Canto,
Here.
Matt Bandel,
Here.
and James Ratcliffe.
Here.
Okay, Madam Chair, it's all
Awesome.
yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Inez. Welcome to Town of Farmington Plan and Zoning Meeting. Today is October 11th and it's 7 p.m. sharp. We have a full agenda. We'll go through the new business items and then we have public hearing items where we ask you for participation, whether you're here or online. And Scott, if you can kick us off with the legal notice, please.
You got it. Notice is hereby given that the Town Plan and Zoning Commission will hold a hybrid in-person and online public hearing on Wednesday, October 11, 2023 at 7:00 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chambers on the following applications. Christos Theodoropoulos. Nice. Application for special permit for construction of new home in excess of 1,600 square feet, finished living area, and 2,200 square feet, total area located at 33 Junior Road, R12 zone. Rudolph Farmington LLC application for special permit to convert office space to one-bedroom apartment located at Unit 201, 780 Farmington Avenue, FCFV zone. Metro Realty Management Corporation application for special permit and site plan approval for lot line adjustment between 1690 New Britain Avenue and a portion of lot 8562 New Britain Avenue, resulting in an increase in site coverage for 1690 New Britain Avenue, C1 zone. 402 Farmington Avenue LLC application for special permit for rock crushing located on lot 9249 Farmington Avenue, behind 400 Farmington Avenue, SIFZ zone. Interested parties are encouraged to participate in this hybrid public hearing. Participation in person is at 1 Monteith Drive, Town Hall, Town Council Chambers, or online participation is via the link to the meeting on the Town of Farmington's website at the address on the screen. A copy of this proposal is online, also at the address on the screen, or by calling the Planning Department at Farmington Town Hall at 860-675-2325. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 21st day of September, 2023, Town Plan and Zoning Commission, Inez St. James, Chair.
Thank you. Well done. All right. First item in front of us is a new business item from Carrier Development, Inc. It's a request for a 90-day extension. Is someone here from?
I'll just
You will
handle it,
okay.
Madam Chair. So
Sure.
the subdivision was originally approved on June 12th in 2023. The requirements are the applicant is to file the subdivision within 90 days unless an extension is granted by general statutes. They're allowed 2 90-day extensions, and they're simply requesting the first of their 90-day extension. So that staff relates to staff can finalize our review of the documents because there's plans as well as easement documents to be reviewed.
Okay, that's fair, and they have it by right. So we need a motion and second.
Yes, please.
All right, commissioners. It's an
Okay.
easy one, right? All right, so whoever's making the motion, please read the entire piece. We have a bad.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I got it. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the request by Carrier Development, Inc. for a 90-day extension for filing of re-subdivision and subdivision Mylar maps for Dominique's Court and 114 Red Oak Hill Road.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Okay, it's a done deal. Thank you. Next item is an application from Lily Picard. It's a request to install a bike rack. And who do we have?
We
Oh.
have Lily Picard here.
All right, welcome. Thanks for joining us. If you can step up to the podium, identify yourself and give us your address and tell us about your project.
Hi, my name is Lily Picard. I'm a senior at Farmington High School, and I'm a Girl Scout in Troop 66013. I'm here today to propose a bike rack for the Farmington Community Center and Police Department complex. The bike rack is a part of my Girl Scout Gold Award project, which I've been working on this past summer and into this fall. I've been working on making Farmington a more bike safe and bike friendly community, and I believe this bike rack will help aid in this cause. This bike rack will be completely self-funded by me through in-kind donations and financial support from my troop. Therefore, the town won't have to spend any money on this project. All I would need is a call before you dig to get this in motion. My general materials for the project are a wooden log, metal, wooden planks, powder coating, and concrete. The bike rack itself will hold 8 bikes, 4 from the front and 4 from the back. I plan to make an area around the bike rack of stone dust and pressure treated wood so that people's bikes won't rest on the lawn and kill the grass. This will also make mowing easier, so the person won't have to worry about mowing around irregular shapes or bikes. The entire area needed will be roughly 8 feet by 8 feet, like in space. The portion of the bike rack that the bikes will sit in will be made out of metal, which will be powder coated to ensure its longevity. And I decided to I didn't want it to just be a simple bike rack, so I decided to incorporate Farmington. So the picture before is the Farmington portion will be carved in wood, and then underneath it will sit the metal portion where the bikes will sit. The wooden portion will be encased in epoxy. That way it won't get broken down by rain or other elements. It'll also be cemented into the ground, so it can't be pushed over or moved or damaged, which is again why I'd need the call before you dig. I've been in in contact with businesses such as Sanford and Hawley, and I'm talking to them about ordering supplies, and in contact with Dylan Riley, and engineering. He has told me that he sees no problem with getting this approved. I don't have an exact deadline, but I plan to get this finished by the fall. And if that's not possible due to my schedule or other complications, I can implement it in the spring. So if there's any other questions or concerns you'd like me to address, but that's it.
Awesome, thank you. Wow, you covered it all, but I will turn it over to the commissioners for questions, and great job speaking. All right, Matt,
No, very thorough presentation. Thank you. No questions. Nice job.
how about you, Mike?
Good job, thank you. Shannon, just a quick question.
Yes.
There was no issue with the proposed location.
We've,
That's right near the generator.
correct, Dylan's checked it. I had the same question regarding electrical to and from the generator, so the call before you dig will be the final.
Okay.
But it may have to slide on that complex because of that, but she's been in contact with engineering,
Perfect.
and Russ Arnold has signed off on the proposal.
Perfect, thank you. Good job.
Awesome, Patrick,
No questions. Thank you.
how about you, Scott?
No, well done. No questions, thanks.
All right, Liz?
No, you very thorough presentation, and good luck, and I'm so glad you're seeing it through.
I love that. How about you, Matthew?
The Farmington accent looks amazing, so good job. No questions.
Bobby?
Yeah, very impressive. Good job. Good luck.
And James?
No questions. Great job.
Okay, I
Thank you.
think we're all for the project. Again, wonderful presentation. Thank you for doing this for the community. I love the location. It's near the bike path. And that's awesome. So good luck with the project. It sounds like we're probably ready to vote.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need a motion and a second to approve this application from Lily Picard, please.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the site plan by Lily Picard for installation of bike rack at 321 New Britain Avenue, CR zone.
Second,
I'll second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Sounded pretty unanimous. You are all set, and you will be hearing from town staff.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
good.
Lily. That's awesome.
Done.
I love that.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
just to remind, we have a full complement of our full members, so the
Oh.
alternates don't
Yes,
not be
yeah, you're right.
voting
We're good.
or necessarily making a
Okay.
motion.
Yeah,
A
no,
motion
I
or
know.
second. So that's fine. We're
Do
good.
you need someone else to
We're good.
second it?
Okay, that's a good point. Thank you. Thank you all, commissioners, for coming today.
No.
That's awesome. That's a good point. All right, moving right along. Next item is an application that we will be accepting this evening from Noreen Galvin. And we need a motion and a second to accept it, please.
I'll make a motion to accept the application from Noreen Galvin for text amendment to Article 4, Section 21, accessory apartments, and schedule public hearing with a recommended hearing date of November 6, 2022.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous again. Thank you. Moving right along, next application is, okay, it's an application from Metro Realty Management Corporation, and it is an excuse me, application we are accepting this evening. We need a motion and a second.
Okay,
You want to do it?
sure. I'll do this one. I'd like to accept an application from the Metro Realty Management Corporation, lot 8562 New Britain Avenue, for amendment to the regulations to add the New Britain Avenue opportunity, to add the New Britain Avenue Opportunity Zone, change of zone from C1 to NBAO zone, and site plan approval for 91 residential rental units pursuant to CGS 8-30G, and schedule public hearing with a recommended hearing date of November 6, 2023.
And second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Right, unanimous again, thank you. And the last new business item is an application from Dunning Industries. And again, we're accepting it this evening. We need a motion and a second.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the application for special permit and site plan approval for Nursery and Garden Center by Dunning Industry, Inc. at 1079, 1085, and 1091 Farmington Avenue in a BR zone, and schedule a public hearing with a recommended hearing date of November 6, 2023.
And second,
Second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right, another unanimous, thank you. All right, on to the public hearing portion of our meeting. So this is a part of our meeting where the applicant gets to present to us. We as commissioners ask questions. We turn it over to all of you here and online and see where it takes us. The first application is, I should have worked on the pronunciation. It's from
I
Christo.
nailed it. So.
I know you
Yeah.
did, I know. It's from Christos. It's an application for special permit for construction of a new home in excess of 1,600 square feet, finished living area, and 2,200 square feet total area located at 33 Junior Road, R12 zone. And sorry, I'm assuming here, but step up to the podium, please, and identify yourself and give us your address.
Good evening. My name is Christos Sideropoulos, and it's for 33 Junior Road. This is my wife.
Despina?
Welcome.
Welcome. So yeah, we purchased a home a few years ago, and we're trying to build it out for our family. We have 2 little children, and we tried to work with the existing house, and the square footage wasn't there. It was built in the 1920s, and the rooms were tiny. You couldn't even fit a queen size bed in there, let alone it's like a broomstick closet. And we found out recently it's full of asbestos. So having to try to take it down, it was very difficult.
The chimney and the staircase are also located in the middle of the house. So, and the staircase is very much steep and dangerous. My child has fallen down a couple times. So we're like, okay, if we have to work with this building, we'd have to move the staircase and the chimney. And it's just like, let's just knock it down. And
At least that's what all the builders we brought in were
Yeah.
saying is a lot easier just to start with a clean slate. So that's what we're trying to do.
Right.
Only try to do 3 bedrooms for the family. We didn't feel like it was too much out of the ordinary as far as what the streets like, with the other homes on the street
yes,
there.
the street itself has a lot of ranch styles, colonial styles, Cape style houses. So we feel like our house would be embraced in that community there as well. So we love the neighborhood. We love the location mostly, and we really hope to stay there forever. We've designed it so that when we get old and gray, and our knees are not working, that we stay one level. So we really put a lot of thought and our hearts into it. So we hope you agree.
Thank you. Shannon, can you show us a map? Or,
Yes, I can.
thank you. We did receive the plans, we saw the review, and Shannon is just gonna pop it on the map for us. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, so it's Junior Road's on the far west side of town. It's in the southwest corner off of Camp Street, near the corner, town line with Bristol.
Yep.
And it's, half to 2/3 of the way down on the north side of the street. This is the property here at 33.
Okay,
So, and the agenda review includes comparison properties of the immediate area. And then, I had added 48 and 50 in at the end.
mhm.
They were approved in 2018, also as part of the expanded home provision at that time.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Anything else before I turn it over to the commissioners?
I think we
We
covered
covered
everything.
everything, yeah.
All right, thank you. Let me turn it over to the commissioners. Matt, questions?
No questions.
All right, Mike?
Just to make sure I'm looking at the right one on Google, Street View. It's the house with the detached white garage. That's yours?
Yes.
Yeah,
What kind of, material for the siding are you gonna be using?
To be determined, but most likely vinyl. It wouldn't be wood, just because for maintenance. Right now, it's aluminum.
Is it a complete tear down?
Yes.
yeah.
All right, no further questions.
Thank you. Patrick, how about you?
No questions. Thank you.
Scott?
Just one, I think. So how does it compare footprint wise to the existing house? Do you know how much wider it is? I'm just thinking from the
It
street.
pretty much takes up the footprint where the single garage is, and then just imagine another garage next to it.
Okay,
East facing, and then pretty much the edge of where the existing house is, about, I would say about 10 feet facing west. And then towards the back, it's more, feel like it's between 15 and 20 feet.
so most of the square
Deeper.
footage is being added to the back of
Correct,
the current footprint. Okay,
right.
that's very helpful. Thank you. All set.
All right. Liz?
Commissioners, just, I've got the site plan up on
Yeah.
the screen. It's gonna be easier to see on the screen behind me, but you can see in
You can see
gray
the-
Yep,
Oh,
the
okay.
outline of the existing home and the outline of the existing garage. So the proposed garage and existing garage, that front face
Mhm.
is pretty much the same. And the home, the proposed home is actually gonna sit back further than the existing home for the most part.
You're good?
Mhm.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Liz, questions?
Okay, along with that, I was just gonna ask about the driveway. It's just gonna be wide enough to cover a 2-car garage,
Yeah, yep.
but the curb cut isn't changing or anything.
I don't believe so. You
Oh.
can kind of see the outline of the old driveway
Mm,
and just a little bit to the right and left. We had to just expand it to get to the garage. Excuse me.
okay, I think that's it. Thank you.
Matthew, questions?
Just a statement and no questions. I think there's some newer colonials, some newer ranches in that area, so I think this would be a good complement to that aesthetic, so. No questions.
All right, and Bobby?
No questions. I don't have a problem. The only thing I would suggest is taking a look at that driveway because it's gonna be a little bit difficult and over time you may end up going over the grass and you might want to consider going straight in and out.
Oh, right. Okay.
Good point.
And James?
No questions.
Okay, regarding your applications, I do not have any questions. And there are some newer homes on your street in particular. Shannon, any correspondence back from anyone?
No, we did not receive any correspondence.
Okay, have your neighbors approached you or anything like that?
No.
No.
Okay, all right. Sounds good. All right. Any other questions, commissioners, before we turn it over to the public? We're good? Okay. So this is a public hearing. So if there's anyone here in attendance or online that wishes to speak regarding this application, let us know. And Shannon, you'll help me.
Yep, if anyone's
Understood.
called in online regarding the application for 33 Junior Road, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. And you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Again, if anyone's called in online to offer comment on the 33 Junior Road application, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. You'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Madam Chair, there's no
Okay.
hands raised online.
All right, and here, no questions, okay? Commissioners, we have enough information to make a decision, and I can close the public hearing, all right. So at this point, you can go ahead and sit down, thank you.
Thank you.
At this point, we are going to close the public hearing. And we need a motion and a second and before discussion. Please. All right,
Sorry.
Who's turn?
You're up.
I'd like to make, excuse me. I'd like to make a motion to approve the application by Christos Theodoropoulos. Sorry, I'm not as good as you are. For special permit for construction of new home in excess of 1,600 square feet, finished living area, and 2,200 square feet total area located at 33 Junior Road in an R12 zone.
and second,
Second.
all right, discussion, anything else that comes to mind?
Only thing I was gonna say is it's a fairly diverse neighborhood. I got a chance to drive through it over the weekend. And there's a lot of variety of house size, house shape, house style, so.
No
I think
concerns
it was,
with voting?
no,
Okay.
no.
We're good? All right, I guess we're all set. So we have a motion and second. Let's do a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? All right, we're all set. You are all set, and you'll be hearing from town staff. Thank you. Absolutely. Good luck with the project. You too.
You too.
Thank you. All right, the next application is from Udall Farmington LLC for special permit to convert an existing second floor office space to a one-bedroom apartment at 780 Farmington Avenue in the FV zone. And who do we have? Oh, okay. Welcome. Good evening.
As cheerful as that first presentation. We'll see.
I know.
We'll see.
All right.
Jack Kemper Associates Architects. Robert Udolph is here also, if you guys have questions for him. Over the past few years, we've been turning some of those buildings there. If you know the building 780, it's the red building kind of in that area near Chase Bank. So this is the fourth one. It's been kind of delayed by the moratorium. So we're here the first chance to convert this present office to a one-bedroom apartment. It's about 518 square feet. The exterior will remain pretty much the same siding, same windows, everything. There will be one barber shop left, so it will stay mixed use for a while, for the time being. And I think we've supplied some pictures of the other ones that we've done. They're really nice inside. And it's, as someone who has my office right next to it, it's really nice having all the people walking around and the dogs and everything. So I think it's a good thing. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer them.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, Matt, we'll start with you. Questions for the applicant?
No questions. Thank you.
All right, how about you, Mike?
I don't have any questions about this. My only question is the rear properties, the office buildings that we had approved quite a few years ago.
Oh, that's where my office is.
Yeah, has there been any movement on?
I think he's been looking at, right now, Shannon, you can correct me. I think 2 buildings have been approved to be turned into residences. The plans are done. He's having all sorts of utility work and stuff doing. So I think that is still on the plan.
Gotcha.
The back 2 buildings are still office, although he's bought the entire complex and 2 of us are renting back. So there's only 2 offices left there. So,
Okay.
so
I was just curious, like,
Yeah.
demand.
I think eventually, I think those units, those 2 buildings in the front of us, building 2 and building 1 and building 4 will be 6 units each.
Okay.
So there'll be 12 units there.
All right, no questions.
Thank you. It's been a while, right, since that one?
Yeah.
It's been a drama, I'll just say that.
I said a while. You said drama.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is recorded. Damn. Okay, sorry.
It's all good. Patrick, questions?
No question.
Scott,
No questions, thanks.
how about you, Liz?
just a question, how are you full up? Is your tenancy, you are full up? Oh, that's good to hear. Okay,
are full.
thank you.
Excellent. How about you, Matthew?
No questions.
Bobby?
No questions.
James?
No questions.
Awesome. I do not have any questions. I love that we're adding a residential unit. My first apartment was through Udall. Oh my God, a long time ago. But I'm happy to meet you finally. Yep, I was in West Hartford. All right, I'm done with my stories. I know, we have business. to
Memory
do.
lane.
I know. All right, so let's turn it over to the public. Is there anyone in here that has any questions for the applicant, wishes to speak? No, okay, I think we just have the presenters. Anyone online, Shannon, please?
Okay, again, if anyone has called in regarding the application for, we're at 780 Farmington Avenue, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom and you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Again, if anyone has called in to offer comment or has questions regarding 780 Farmington Avenue, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. You'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Madam Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay. Quiet group, all right. Are we all set? Any last question? Okay, we need a motion and second and then
Thank you.
discussion if needed. Thank you, yes, thank you very much.
I'll do it. I'll make a motion to approve the application from Udall Farmington LLC for special permit to convert office space to one-bedroom apartment located at unit 201, 780 Farmington Ave, FCFV zone.
Second,
Second,
all right. Discussion, anything changed? We're good as presented? All right, let's do a vote. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Okay, you are all set, thank you, and you'll be hearing from town staff. Thank you, it was nice meeting you.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, moving right along. I know,
The crowd is thinning.
yes. The next item in front of us is an application from Metro Realty Management Corporation. It's an application for special permit and site plan approval for lot line adjustments between 1690 New Britain Avenue and a portion of lot 8562 New Britain Avenue, resulting in an increase in site coverage for 1690 New Britain Avenue C1 zone. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, fellow commissioners, Kyle Richards for the record, Metro Realty. We are requesting for you tonight a special permit and site plan approval for a lot line revision at 1690 New Britain Avenue. Next slide, please, Shannon. So 1690 New Britain Avenue, I'm sure you're all familiar with, is the site of a large commercial building. It's approximately 160,000 square feet, presently occupied in part by the Mott Corporation. To the north of 1690, and to the north on this plan is to the right, is 8562 New Britain Avenue. While separate parcels, 1690 and 8562 have always enjoyed common ownership, and they've also, from a zoning standpoint, been merged as it relates to adhering to bulk zoning standards. So effectively, though they've been two parcels, they've kind of been one as it relates to zoning. So the purpose of this lot line revision application is to separate the two parcels so they can function independently. They'll both remain in zoning compliance, and the parcel to the right, to the north and to the right, 8562 will be freed up for development. Next slide, please, Shannon. So on your screen, you're looking at the proposed relocation of the lot line. So the yellow line that you see is the current lot line. As you'll note, it kind of runs through the northern portion of the 1690 parking lot. We're proposing to move the lot line 200 feet to the north, approximately 200 feet, to where you see the red line. The red line will, this revision will keep all the necessary improvements, the parking, the access drives, that service 1690 on the 1690 parcel, while making 8562 New Britain Avenue approximately a 9-acre, it's 9.09 acres precisely, acre parcel of just raw land with no improvements that will be available for development. Again, both lots will comply with the C1 bulk zoning standards. They're currently in compliance and they will remain in compliance. Next slide, please, Shannon. So because the northern land, which of course is raw land, as proposed with this lot line revision and separating the two parcels, will no longer be a part of 1690 from a zoning standpoint. That caused, by way of that separation, that caused the impervious coverage of 1690 to go up, of course, because now you don't have that raw land associated with the parcel. And because of that, your regulations require that there's stormwater enhancement, stormwater quality management practices that need to be employed, and also additional landscaping standards. So what you're looking at on your screen as such, and designed by Tom Daly, who's sitting next to me, you're looking at a water quality basin in the front yard of the parcel, with subsequent landscaping into the rear. So to the extent you have technical questions about the basin, I'll of course relay that to Tom Daly. But effectively, the previous condition was that the parking lot, all the water came off that large parking lot at 1690. And I think there was a separator,
Yes.
but effectively it ran unimpeded across the street. This water quality basin will control that flow. So it will be, we think the reality is that it'll be, it'll infiltrate on the site because these are all sandy soils. But you've just got a much better situation from a stormwater management standpoint. You're not going to have a situation where that enormous parking lot is flooding across the street into that high quality aquifer to the east side of New Britain Avenue. Did I characterize that correctly? All right. As it relates to landscaping, what we're proposing is kind of a nice variety of shrubs and trees that are between the basin and the parking lot. This landscaping isn't intended to completely screen the parking lot, but if you're familiar with the condition in the field, I think we'd all agree that it could benefit from some enhancement as it relates to landscaping. So I think this will be a nice kind of natural buffer between the road, the basin, and what is a very large, there's no way around it. It's a very large parking field. We've reviewed staff comments and engineering comments. We don't have any, we can comply with all comments from staff. I think that's just about it. Of course, I have Tom Daly here to the extent you have technical questions. But I'll pause there and see if you might have any for me. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. All right, Matt.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. So I get that the lot lines are moving, but what's the purpose? Like, what's the ultimate goal, or why do you want us to approve kind of moving those lot lines around?
The purpose is candidly to separate the northern parcel from the southern and create an ability to develop the parcel. At the moment, when those two parcels are intertwined, frankly, the town of Farmington has very few parcels remaining that are available for development. And this one has always been identified by town officials as having potential. But until that work has been, the work that we're trying to do now to kind of free it up, it's intertwined with 1690, and it just has to be, it would just have to exist as it currently does, having the occasional car show there, or historically, I believe they used it for, I recall in my childhood, there were soccer fields there. So that's the honest purpose.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What type of development are you looking at in that property?
We're proposing, and I was previously accepted for a housing.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, we accepted the application.
Okay, perfect,
Yeah.
got it. Thank you.
I'm good.
All right, Mike.
No questions. I know you said you're fine with all the engineering comments. Are you comfortable with all the other items for consideration on the agenda review?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, no questions.
No questions, thanks.
thanks.
Scott.
Maybe you can answer this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Since
Sure.
we're talking about some alterations to the 1690 property. Was there ever consideration to shrinking that parking lot at all?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question.
I mean, I live not
Yeah.
too far from there and 90% of it's empty.
Yeah, so you can't
100%
pick it up on
covered.
this, on this plan, but we're actually eliminating 32 spaces on the north side. There's a row of perpendicular spaces that are on the end. There's 32, so those will be eliminated. But you know, the parcel, Metro Realty doesn't own the parcel.
Right.
And I know that, there's been discussions about parking and, as Shannon can discuss, but the Mott Corporation, as part of their expansion, has taken, space in that building in a meaningful way.
Yep.
And I know that, you know, with shift changes, there's been, the short answer is I don't think they intend to do it. But I think that after they're operating, they may have a better idea of what their real true parking needs are. Unless Shannon, you were
Yeah.
closer to those conversations than I was.
Sure, I'll just offer that, you're right, so based, we've got a zoning chart here, so they were required with Mott, with one shift, 540 spaces, we're gonna be at 832. The issue comes when if they start running multiple shifts.
Yeah.
And then you actually have to have double, right, because there's
Yep.
typically at least a half hour, sometimes an hour overlap on those shift change. And yes, we're shifting to more automated and less manual, but until that all filters out, that's where that is. So in the meantime, because of the impervious coverage, then they had the
Yep.
higher stormwater standards to adhere to. You'll recall we did the text amendment 3-4 months ago, something of that. So there's higher stormwater standards, and that's the genesis then of the water quality basin that you're saying.
That's it.
All set? Yep.
All right, thank you. How about you, Liz? Questions?
No, Scott just asked it, so thank you.
Matthew?
Just more curious, the Mott Corp, they were doing those industrial ovens and the upgrades. Do we know where that is in the process?
They are under construction, so
Okay.
that is it's an active construction site right now. Because of the nature of their work and the equipment going in, there's a high electrical demand, so they've been working with Eversource for the electrical needs, which has had their construction schedule somewhat. We're familiar, there's been quite a few electrical demands on this south end of town and north end of Plainville that's got Eversource hopping. So there's been a shift in that schedule, but they've broken ground. There's if you're to drive by, graders and whatnot on site.
Okay, great. That's it for me. Thank you.
How about you, Bobby?
No issues.
James?
Just one clarification, I see an entrance to the parking lot. I would assume the lot line is on the opposite side of that.
Right.
That entrance that will still remain there.
Yes, that will remain on the north side there.
All right, no other questions.
Thank you. All right, I think Relay for Life happens here, right?
Yeah, it happens.
So we're gonna be losing that site.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Yep. Yeah, as
In the last couple of years.
the thing that is going through my head, and I'm not obviously an engineer, you all know what I do. So we have, stormwater. I guess the questions that I had in my head were more about 1690, just because there's so much pavement. So you're doing the basin. I was just thinking of the water. Where is it going? It aesthetically looks like it's going to be very nice. We were talking about energy, but with all the parking, all the asphalt and the freaky storms and whatnot, I mean, I'm just thinking about 1690 requiring so much more energy, and if they're already we're not here to solve an energy crisis, but what happens to 1690? I think the property line is one thing, and that's an easy one, right? And it's a dirt field, sandy field. What are the impacts? I guess it would be nice to remove some parking spaces, but that we can possibly create a problem for Mott Corporation, but that's a lot of paving.
Well, and they're allowed based on the permit, right? So this is 1690 is an existing approved lot.
Yep,
And as I explained in the agenda review, typically a lot line modification does not come before the commission. The only reason it's before the commission is because with this lot, we've bumped the impervious coverage up to 64 and change percent.
mhm,
So that then is triggering the additional stormwater quality measures. And so that's that basin. That stormwater is going through piping network across and under New Britain Avenue right now, today.
yep,
That's not changing with this. What they're doing is interrupting it,
okay,
and they're breaking the pipe and giving it an opportunity to infiltrate into the ground and recharge the aquifer with, so this is the pipe network that you're seeing up on the screen right now. This is the existing pipe network for the site. There's a water quality unit here. Basically, they're breaking the pipe so that the basin, the stormwater will flow into the basin, allow to infiltrate at that location and then discharge. So the parking is, they're allowed that base parking. It's part of the existing approvals for that property.
And,
So, and it allows flexibility for the use.
and for the record,
Yes.
Tom Daly with SLR Consulting, we saw this as an opportunity, and part of the staff comments we're working through is a brand new regulation, but, the way you wrote the regulation is it allows us as engineers to take projects that are completely out of compliance, that have been there for, since 1950s. We're smarter now, right? We realize that providing polishing of stormwater and infiltrating on site is better than just letting it run off the thing. So we went out there and we took a look at it. There's very nice mature trees along the frontage. We didn't want to touch that. So this got tucked in behind it. And Shannon did it. So, and we looked at a parking lot, and except for going through a swirl chamber, it just discharges. And across the street is basically open space, owned by the state.
Correct.
It's a beautiful, I walked it, I chased it. It's a beautiful open space. It definitely can benefit from the enhanced stormwater. So we actually went out there and did test bits, found out what we thought it was, pure sand. So everything, naturally used to, so we went out there, we broke the pipe. And then the way your regulations wrote is for us to have a conversation with you, we have to go above and beyond. So I believe from 0 to 50%, we have to do basically what the DEP says, but anything above 50, we have to do twice what's required. So this will help in a few ways. One, it'll cool down the water before it goes to the other thing, will infiltrate. And then it's just less water going to the outfall, which if you happen to get a walk of it, it does have a little bit of an erosion. So I think you're getting a threefold benefit from that. And as Kyle said, we are reducing 34 spaces along the property line. But I think it's that balance of a business trying to be successful in town, but then you guys giving us a chance to frame that with your enhanced stormwater requirements. So while I would say we didn't remove that much parking, in terms of a stormwater management or the receiving water, we are essentially taking that pavement off the books for at least definitely for the water quality volume. So from a wildlife and a thing, we are taking off pavement off the books.
thank you for framing it for me, I appreciate it. All right. Before I turn it to the public, any questions? We're good? Okay. All right, Shannon, if you can help me, see if there's anyone that has called in regarding this application.
Certainly. So if
great.
anyone's called in regarding the application for 1690 New Britain Avenue, please raise your hand. Using the feature in Zoom, you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Again, if anyone has called in to offer comment or questions on 1690 New Britain Avenue, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. You'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Madam Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay. Did we receive any phone calls, inquiries?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
No.
We
Same.
do have people participating?
There are 7 attendees that are called in,
Okay,
and there's 4, yeah.
all right. Not to be funny, right? I just want to
No,
make sure.
it's a quieter evening, but there are attendees. And I confirmed that I can be heard, so.
All right. Good enough. Thank you. All right. Commissioners, before I close the public hearing. Do you have questions for the applicant? We're good. Everyone knows what we're voting on. Okay, so Kyle, thank you.
Thank you.
At this point, the public hearing portion is closed and we need a motion and a second, and then we can discuss. Please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the application by Metro Realty Management Corporation for special permit and site plan approval for lot line adjustment between 1690 New Britain Avenue and a portion of lot 8562 New Britain Avenue, resulting in an increase of site coverage for 1690 New Britain Avenue in a C1 zone as presented.
Do you need us to?
Well, they
Say-
agreed, so we will put, yeah, I'm assuming the
Working with
intent is to
council.
have all the items of consideration included.
Yeah, Mike. had-
Yeah, okay, perfect.
and I
Thank you.
seconded, so.
I know I royally messed it up, but thank you, Patrick. And a second, please.
Second,
All right, Liz, thank you. All right, discussion. Everyone know what we're voting on? Think it's a good idea? What you heard?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we gotta find a new spot for Really for Life.
Back to high school.
yeah, back at the
Well-
high school, once the construction's done,
Okay,
maybe.
all right. Scott, you good?
I'm good.
All right, I guess we have a motion and a second. Let's do a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it's unanimous. Thank you. All right, and the last public hearing item. Just taking a break. Okay, he's not leaving us. Okay, sorry.
Not running away.
Can take like 2 minutes if you want.
Oh, this, yeah, sorry. It's okay.
Yeah, my apologies. You have to
No,
see
I
me
didn't
again.
even. No, it's all good. I think the fact that it's a Wednesday, you know.
That's all.
right.
Yeah.
Little,
Yeah,
little out of sync.
You did that.
Yeah.
Little-
Oh, Patrick,
The night off.
Patrick, okay. All right.
That night off.
The last public hearing item in front of us this evening is an application from 402 Farmington Ave LLC for special permit for rock crushing located at lot 9249 Farmington Avenue behind 400 Farmington Avenue SIFZ zone. Hello, Kyle.
Hello again. Kyle Richards for the record, Metro Realty. So this application is a special permit for intensive construction activity as it relates to crushing rock that's exists and will remain on site. The 402 Farmington site, so this is really a two-phased and the two final phases of crushing. The first is as it relates, and the reason why we need to crush some additional material is because if you mind going to the next slide, Shannon, around the periphery of the 402 Farmington site, there's a retaining wall. And the retaining wall was originally contemplated to kind of merge into existing ledge, existing rock face. But once we got deeper into the construction, we found that rock was it was decomposing. It wasn't structurally able to retain the earth behind it. So we had to, and I didn't properly introduce him, but Eddie Majewski's here. He's you often have to look at me and Jeff, but he's our project manager. He's built 1,500 apartments for Jeff and Metro, and the backbone of our development company. But in any event, when he pulled the rock out, it was just determined that it was decomposing. So we had to continue, unfortunately continue the wall at considerable additional expense. So that produced additional rock material. That particular phase of crushing, to crush that rock, we think will take around 3 weeks. And we intend to begin that phase of the crushing as early as possible. So that's the first request. The second request is as it relates to rock that we will extract from the ground to trench for the utilities for the building. So again, this is not requiring any additional blasting, but this rock that exists on site will need to be trenched out of the ground, and we will need to then to crush it. That second phase, again, crushing the rock for the utility trenching, we think is around another 3 or 4 weeks. And we would anticipate starting that phase as soon as weather permits next year. So all in all, we're talking about three to 4 weeks for each phase. We'll be crushing the rock on site. The rock will remain on site. There'll be no, we're proposing no trucks to offload material and put trucks on the road. And that's really the request before you. I apologize, you have to hear more about this application again, but this is the I think this is the final time you'll hear from us about rock as it relates to 402.
Thank you. Yes, this one has been in front of us for a couple years. All right, Matt, let's start with you. Questions for Kyle regarding the two activities proposed?
Sure. Well, I'll just ask the for Shannon's items for consideration in the agenda review. Right? Is there any issues with any of those, or should we go through those?
Go through them. yeah.
Okay, we'll
Yeah,
go through
let's
them.
go through them.
So, well, so I think he talked about from the use need, like the existing piles, like that's all staying on site of rock,
The existing rock piles?
correct?
Yeah,
So
the ro-
what's-
the
but after
rock-
they're crushed, I guess what
Yes,
happens to them?
the rock will remain on site.
When, I guess, what's the plan for those?
Eddie, do you want to answer that?
So the piles of rock that we have right now, we propose to crush it. We have a few areas that we have to fill. I don't know if you've ever driven up there where my trailer is. If you drive up the road, you'll see a dip that has to be filled in. We have to put a sidewalk in from the site all the way to Farmington Avenue, so we'll use that material over there. So we'll use it on site.
For Phil, okay, got it. Let's see, what else we got here? So in lieu of additional rock crushing on site, applicant to remove material from site and process rock crush elsewhere, right? Can you,
That's prohibited because some of those rocks are the size of Shannon's desk right there, and to load that into a truck, drive down the road, bouncing around, even when you take a corner, if that stuff shifts.
Yep.
And it's cost prohibitive too.
so there's no alternative besides crushing the rocks on site?
We could whole ram it, but still that makes a lot of noise also. Whole ram
What-
it to smaller conditions.
What is that?
What is,
What is that process look like?
it's a jackhammer at the end of an excavator.
Got it. Okay.
May I add one thing, Eddie?
Yes.
So I might add that we basic calculations in terms of the amount of trucks they would put on the road to take the rock, crush it in an alternative location. So you're bringing the rock to the alternative location
Right.
and bringing it back. You know, by our estimates, it's around 1,000 trips. So it's a lot of truck traffic on your roads, wear and tear on your roads.
Yep.
I think the prudent alternative would just be to crush it in place.
Yeah, okay. What will the residents in the area experience from the hours of, I guess, 9 to 2? Like what type of noise will it fit into our regulations? I think one of the proposals was rock crushing during the summer, right? When people enjoy the outside. So we could talk about what the residents would impact to them.
Do you want to speak to this?
Yeah, the sound, well, we've already engaged in crushing there already.
Right.
So other than the immediate neighbors that were aggravated by the construction, it's no different than normal construction. It's gonna be during the course of the job with nail guns and all that, it's gonna be an invasive and noisy setup.
Got it.
The whole process.
Okay. Is it every day over the 3 weeks, or how do I think about that?
Every day.
Okay. Okay, I'm good. No additional questions.
Thanks, Matt. Mike,
So has any of this material that you've already crushed been removed from the property at all?
Yes.
Yeah, we've relocated some of it onto another Metro site.
Okay. How much?
About 3,000 yards. That nub that was in the front,
Okay.
we basically took that and used it for our other site.
Could you not use it for this project? Is that why it went off property?
Yeah, we didn't.
Okay. Okay. There's some questions in here about the location of where you're doing the rock crushing. And if possible to move that location of where?
I think there's an exhibit, which we can show. So, you know, Eddie can speak to this, but was the comment, Shannon, to pull it down farther to the south? Closer to like the retaining wall near the basins, or?
Down in here or down, the intent was to get it further away from the residents, understanding that it's not perhaps as convenient, but get it further away from the residential.
Well, there's a couple things to consider. We built.
Can
an
you step
8-foot
up to the microphone, please? Yeah.
There's a couple things to consider. We built a stockade, not a stockade fence, but a wooden fence that's 8 foot along the perimeter. So that acts like a sound screen that wasn't there when we did a majority of the original work. So that helps. And if we move it any more to the south, that's going to inhibit access. And the area that we have to fill in is that roadway right there. So if we crush it, then we can push it down in there. But if we set up the crusher there and move the pile, then we'll have to move the pile from, one spot to the other. That right there is the most common sense location right there.
So are you saying it's not possible to do it more south?
No.
Okay. I might have some other things. You can come back to me.
Sounds good. Patrick?
I mean, I'll just go with the agenda review here, in terms of when you're gonna do it, the hours. What hours were you crushing?
I believe it's permitted 8 to 2.
We were doing 8 to 4. That was what originally it was, right?
So the regulations say 8 to 2, and I'm suggesting do 9 to 3, so we're not starting at 8.
Yep, that's
So
fine.
just slide it an hour in each direction is what was suggested.
And then just to be clear, you said, so you guys have shipped some off. So right now it's a balance site, right? I mean, you're just processing material and
Yeah.
you're just doing what you need to do to use it,
Mhm.
right? So I
And-
mean, that's close, obviously, as you can guess, to a balance site.
Right. And then next summer, when we crush the rest of the stone, we'll put it back into the trenches.
Right. Right. No further questions, thanks.
All right, thank you. Scott?
My questions have been asked. Thank you.
All right, Liz?
My questions have also been asked. Thank you.
All right, Matthew?
No questions.
Bobby?
Same thing, all answered.
And James?
No questions.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, please. Yes.
Context.
Yes.
So we didn't know about the wall immediately, and when we were exporting, we didn't think the site was balanced. We thought it was an export. But then when when the wall became necessary, we had to backfill the wall. Now all of a sudden, we needed material. So that's why the change in mentality there. The other thing I'd mention is, and I heard the comment, this has been kicking around for 2 years. That's because we're in litigation. If we were not in litigation, this would all be done. You wouldn't be hearing this. This would have been all part of the original approval. But now because it's dragged on so long, that's basically why we're here. So please, I would just ask you to consider that as well.
That's
And we hope, we've of course prevailed on the wetland suit. So the litigation got dragged out. The judge hearing the planning and zoning appeal wouldn't hear it until the wetlands decision had been made.
Mhm.
So we couldn't, we just sat and waited for a year. So we prevailed on that and we started. And now we're on to our second or third extension with the judge. The judge got COVID, the courts were delayed. So I mean, it's just the hand we've been dealt.
Good
And
reminder, though. Thank you.
Yeah, we hope that it's resolved by the end of October.
Okay. So, it has been a sensitive project. Besides the notification and the meeting this evening, has there been any other notification to the community? Should there be?
Other than what would be prescribed by the process, we didn't go beyond the area prescribed by the town process.
I understand. I think we're talking about 20, right? 2 dozen houses or something.
There was mailing notices to
Everybody.
all abutters within 200 feet.
And no comments, nothing.
We have received nothing.
Okay. I'm glad to hear there's no traffic impact. That's great with the exit and access and safety, right? That's what we're concerned about. In terms of, and I know you've done already some of this, and this is a continuation, but like air quality, dust, are we worried about it this time of the year? Do you spray it? That's the only question I have.
We do have a water truck on site.
Okay.
So if the dust issue is a problem, we do have it's up there right now. So we can spray it down. We try to avoid spraying the crusher because that dust makes concrete.
Mm.
But if there's dust, we'll spray the material first.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
thank you. That's all I have. Yes, go ahead, Mike. Yep.
Kyle, obviously we want to stay within noise ordinance regulations. If we were to monitor the noise levels and they exceed our regulations, what can you do from there? Can you still proceed? Is there another alternative?
Eddie, is there a less?
So what we're proposing to do is, in the previous operation, we had one crusher that would take 2-foot stone and minus, crush it, dump it into another crusher that would take that 3-inch or 6-inch stone and crush it into different products, process, 1.25 inch stone and all that. There was conveyor belts. There was several pieces of equipment. It looked like a quarry for a little bit. So what we're proposing is just one crusher. And with that crusher, we're going to make material 3-inch minus, and then that's it. So the amount of material, the amount of equipment that's going to be there is going to be a lot less. You're going to hear the excavator and the loaders and the crusher, but you're not going to hear all the other equipment going on at the same time.
So the expectation you would have was it's going to be a much quieter process this time through.
Yep.
Okay. And you're comfortable with with us monitoring that noise from the town staff level?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, commissioners, before we turn it over to the public? Okay, all right, Shannon, let's see if there's anyone that may have called in.
Okay, if anyone has called in to offer a comment or a question regarding the application for 402 Farmington Avenue for rock crushing, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom, and you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. If anyone's called in to offer comment or a question regarding 402 Farmington Avenue regarding the special permit for rock crushing, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. You'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Madam Chair, there are no hands raised.
All right, that's how it goes. Commissioners, before I close the public hearing, any questions for the applicant? We're good. All right, so at this point, the public hearing portion is closed and we need a motion and a second, please.
Yeah, in the motion, can we say as presented, because they agreed to all the,
Yes,
that's
yeah,
fine, right?
I think that's fine.
Okay. All right, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the application by 402 Farmington Avenue for special permit for rock crushing located at lot 9249 Farmington Avenue, behind the 400 Farmington Avenue in the SIFV zone.
Second?
Second.
As presented,
Oh,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
as presented,
As-
sorry.
as yes, I second.
Thank you. All right. Does everyone know what we're voting on?
Can we talk about it?
Yep, let's talk about it. Oh, yeah.
No, you.
Okay.
Well, first there. No, listen, I'm not sure there's an alternative. I mean, I'm not sure anyone wants rock crushing at the site for a 3rd round or a 4th round or sort of whatever round we're at. And for me, particularly in the middle of summer, right? We talk a lot about summer and other, right? Here in town, but I'm not sure there's an alternative, right? They take a day or 2 off, but does that make it 4 weeks or 5 weeks instead of 3 weeks? So, yeah, again, that's I don't see an alternative besides again, other commissioners chime in, but that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Mike.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the concern would be the noise. I never heard rock crushing. I don't know what it sounds like. I know what a quick blast sounds like.
Mm.
And I mean, as long as we monitor the noise, that it's, falling within our regulations, and if it's not, then it can't proceed.
Patrick.
Yeah, so the way I look at it is the property's already approved,
Yep.
right? And now the best thing is to develop it in the most efficient way possible. And it's certainly not to, if it's a balanced site, right? It's one thing if it wasn't a balanced site.
Mhm.
You know, and the rocks were manageable, but it's a balanced site. So to take that off and to bring that back, I mean, that's, you know, a lot of headache. So, in terms of noise, like, Eddie was saying, I don't think there's anything louder than the Roham, the hand.
Oh, really?
Oh, the hammer.
Oh,
Yeah, that's an
God, no.
obnoxious noise of the rock crusher. From my personal experience, it's kind of muffled, you know, so, no, I think just get it done as quick as possible. I mean, that's it within those hours.
How about you, Scott? How are you feeling about this?
No, I mean, I agree with everything that's been said. It's an approved site. It's sort of a necessary evil. I think we have some conditions to add to it around hours and potentially monitoring the noise that Mike brought up. So as long as we get those included.
Fair? Liz?
I will say I am agreeing with the comments already made. I think the key is let's do this efficiently and move this along because it is an approved site and the shortest duration of disruption would be good for those neighbors.
That's right. How about you, Matthew?
No questions from me. I think it makes sense.
And I should have stopped, right? That's it. Yeah.
That's all right.
That's what I was
Good, good job. It's okay. It's okay to remind me. I've been only here. I'm new.
I'm just new here.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I thank you, to hearing our comments. I'm sure you want to get it over with as quickly as possible. And, Shannon and staff, you may get questions, right? But everybody has been notified and it is what it is. And, let's do a vote.
Yep.
Okay,
Do we need to add any of those conditions? I mean, they're,
present.
Yeah, we had said after.
but they're in here as quite like questions, not as.
They were,
Right, because some of them they agreed to, some of them it was just questions for the commission. So there's 3 to 4 weeks for each period this fall and in the spring, no material off-site. Crusher to be as located on the plan, 1 crusher at a time, no conveyor. And town of Farmington to monitor noise. So that was
Great.
as presented.
we're good. So thank you, Shannon, for reading it into the record. We're done, I guess.
Yep.
All right, let's do a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, you are all set. Thank you. Shannon. You have a planner's report?
I've got a couple of things to review with everybody.
Okay.
792 Farmington Avenue is the Elm Tree Inn. Up
What?
by the Backage
what?
Road.
Where's? Oh, Elm
Elm
Tree.
Tree,
Okay.
Elm Tree Inn,
Inn.
Sorry, thank you. Yes, we know where that
next to the golf course.
Chase, yep.
Yep, so up by the Backage Road and all that, so. We have an application that actually came into the Farmington Historic District, so this is 792 Farmington Avenue. Right at the intersection of Farmington Ave and the Backage Road. And there's multiple, it's a condo, there's multiple tenants or owners of the building. And there's an apartment on the back portion of this building. And the owner or relative of an owner is looking to add an ADA accessible ramp from the existing doorway out into the parking area. So the property is complex in that it is part of the Farmington Historic District. It's also in the Farmington Center, Farmington Village Zone. And with it being a site element, there's a TPZ component. I was at the property this morning. We took photos. This is the door in question that they're looking to add an ADA ramp, and I'll show the plan here in just a second, but there'll be a pad here at the door. This canopy and columns are going to have to extend out and be rebuilt, but there'll be a level pad here, even with the door sill and the entryway. And then a ramp, a short ramp down to another level pad. This will drop about 4 inches. And then a ramp out towards us to the back edge of this sidewalk. And then this panel of sidewalk will be converted to a ramp down to get you to the pavement area. So these are just a couple of different views that were taken this morning when we were at the property. So what I'm looking for from you all is, obviously it's getting reviewed with Farmington Historic District. They're looking at it from a visibility, material, access standpoint. Staff is looking at it from an engineering review. It will need a building permit. If you all are in agreement, we will leave this at staff level. Otherwise, it will require a site plan approval and fall under new business and a formal application with all of you. I don't know that it's really warranted for an ADA ramp. It's not impacting parking. That was my main concern, is that the ramp would have to come out further to impact parking, and it will not. They will have to stripe a spot to get the ADA parking. So there will be striping, but that's minimal.
I have no problem with town staff handling this, commissioners.
I-
You're
No
good.
concerns.
No problem.
Nope.
No concerns.
We're all set. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the heads up.
Yep, so that's that one. This next one is 2 Mill Lane, and it's a similar situation. 2 Mill Lane is adjacent to our Farmington Fire Department, around the corner from it. So here's 2 Mill Lane, and then the Farmington Fire Department. That's up, it's obviously fronts on Main Street, but there's a spur and easement that comes back down. So there's a little property frontage there. 2 Mill Lane is owned by Miss Porter's. This is not, it's one of few parcels that is not in the historic district. I don't think. Let me check again.
The form,
No,
yeah.
it's not in historic.
Jigs.
Yeah, it's not registered. So it's not in the historic district. It's the former, there's a, like, it had been a convenience store way
Yep,
back.
yep.
Best convenience store ever.
Best sandwiches.
Now,
Good sandwiches.
now Porter's has it under control. They're looking
What a reaction here. Jeez.
reutilize the space, have some classroom and office space, I believe is what their intent, but as part of that, they are looking to create a ADA ramp off the side of the building. So there's stairs at the top of the building for emergency egress out the top. This is looking at the side of the building, the east elevation. And they're looking at building that out. They'll need 2 doors, one from their kitchen and laundry area, and then one from their main assembly area. And then offer a ramp down, so it'll ramp out towards us, towards the street. So it's all work that's gonna be done on this east elevation. So again, it's for emergency egress for the space. Part of it is being necessitated because of the change. They're using it as assembly space rather than just all retail space. I'm trying to bring it into ADA compliance for the emergency egress. So that, again, there's things staff's looking at with respect to easements and access and elevations. We'll continue to look at that. It'll come through for building permit. Unless there's an overriding concern, I was gonna forego site plan review with TPZ.
Do ADA spaces go in there as well? Is there any?
This, I don't know what they're gonna do with.
Okay.
that exactly. So
Okay.
part of that is part of the conversation.
Got it.
I've got a conversation because Jack Kemper's the architect of record,
Yep.
so he was busy. I was gonna ask him this afternoon, but he was busy this evening. So I've got an email to him. I've got an email to the Miss Porter's rep asking some of those clarifying questions.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, no concerns for me.
So that basically takes up that entire driveway.
It does not.
Okay.
Yeah, so it does not. So there is an easement. So there's 2 driveways. There's the rear driveway that comes into the firehouse, which is here, which is separate fee simple town of Farmington. And then in 2001, there was an easement area granted to the town of Farmington for, again, a rear access to the building. I don't know if there's, like from the fire escape off the top, the second floor of that building. There's already a sidewalk and a small stair here. and you can see, so there's a small stair, concrete stair and a walkway for that existing door. And what Mr. Kemper is proposing is, here's that same easement line. So there's going to be about a foot cantilever into it. So I need, we're looking to get the foundation plans, but his intent initially was to cantilever that. So this will be on piers or some other construction element so that there isn't a foundation in the easement area, and there'll be an overhang of approximately at its greatest width, about 1.4 inches. So the easement area will stay free for the most part, free and clear, not entirely. And there's no encroachment whatsoever into the town rear right of way.
Okay.
Which is this, so that's this strip here. Okay, good. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, Mike is all good. Yeah. Well said. Everyone is okay with town staff handling? Okay. So this is
appropriate.
Mike.
That's
good.
appropriate.
All good, okay. Okay, the only other things I have for you are some of our upcoming meetings. So at the next meeting, we have an
It's
application
10/23?
on October 23rd. So it's 12 days, right? Because it's a Monday. We're kicking it back to a Monday. So it's 12 days, not the full 14. 220 Farmington Avenue. Let's see if I can get, is this building up here? It is a reconfiguration of the parking lot in order to have sufficient on-site parking to allow the entire building to be converted to medical office use. It's an office building. It has historically been an office building with a limited portion of the building being allowed to be used as medical office. But because the parking requirement for medical office is higher than traditional office, right? Understandably with patients coming and going. The way this is laid out and as configured, it can't accommodate enough parking. So there's a plan. It will get uploaded online. The purpose of bringing it up now is, does anyone want hard copy plans for this application? So there's a zone change, which will be explained as the why as part of the agenda review. But there's site plan, and interestingly, I think the impervious coverage is almost a wash.
Which building is this? This is not Dunkin' Donuts, right?
No. So it's the
Loman's?
property next to Loman's Plaza.
Ah, okay.
So sorry, I assumed it. So Talcott
Okay.
Notch, right?
Thank you.
The
Oh, isn't that like the
intersection with
digital
Talcott Notch and
graphics?
Old Mountain Road,
Got it.
Loman's Plaza vacant.
Okay.
And so there
Yes.
had been a land swap at one point as part of Loman's Plaza, and things done back in 2018 and approved. And then if the Loman's Plaza had advanced, it would have provided 220 access to the traffic signal and other flexibility and things to be done, and additional parking, which would have alleviated needing to do this.
Got it.
Loman's Plaza didn't advance. There is no, at this time, undoing what had been done with respect to land swap. So they have worked with Bill Doyle to recreate a layout plan. And again, it'll include changing it from BR to B1. So from a setback standpoint, to help facilitate some of this parking layout, utilizing compact spaces and a waiver. So
Okay.
the building's staying, it's just kind of rejiggering what's on there. So again, the purpose was just to see if anybody wanted hard copy plans, or if you're okay looking at these online.
We're good. Online.
Good online.
You're fine.
Yeah,
online.
online.
Okay. Copy plans. Okay,
Question. What's the status of Lomas Plaza?
Yeah.
there's none,
Awesome.
nothing.
Huh.
Nothing,
Is there anything in
looks
there
good.
anymore?
no,
Okay. It's complete.
no, there's, and no foreseeable change to that. And then on next, on the 23rd, the only other, so this is two applications, the zone change and the site, all the site work. Then the other applications, the high school lights, there isn't a
Oh,
plan, so I'm assuming everyone can look at that online.
Yep.
Okay. The next items then are, we're back to 1690 Farmington Avenue. So this is coming up then for November 6th. Yes, November 6th. So it's the affordable housing development for the surplus land. 8562.
Yep.
So there are plans,
Sixteen
traffic
ninety
study.
Britain Avenue,
Excuse me.
1690 New Britain Avenue.
Next to it.
Right.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Farmington Avenue.
Farmington? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yes, thank you. So the 8562 New Britain Avenue. So that surplus land and the housing complex. There's plans, traffic, drainage, the new zone for the affordable housing zone, et cetera. Does anyone want hard copies or you want it online?
I'll take hard copies.
You know.
To see it. Sorry, I like to see it.
Ma-
Okay.
Yeah. Is it a lot? It's a lot of information. Have you seen it? or not?
It is, oh yeah, I've already started. Absolutely. We've
All
got the
right,
full
then I'll
update.
take it back. Thank you.
Okay.
Is it apartments or is it,
It's gonna be multiple, so there's 8 buildings with 91 units. So I think, I haven't gone into all the architecture, Patrick. I'm not sure how many.
I'll take a package then. That's
Okay. So there's,
hard.
yeah,
to
there's,
get that.
there's 8.
Sharon, that seems complex.
It's,
Yeah, thank
it's,
you.
November 6th is the hearing.
No.
You'll be here. So you want it?
Action day.
Mike.
Be here, to be honest.
MJ.
Mike.
I got excited.
Right. Mike, you're not here on the 23rd, right?
I'm not, no.
And no Scott on the 6th.
Yeah, I'm not.
Right.
6th.
Okay, and Matt Wagner, you said yes to a set of plans
Yeah,
for
that'd be
the,
great.
they're calling it 1600 New Britain Ave.
Oh, wow.
mostly.
Yeah,
Fancy.
So-
that makes sense.
you know, I'll take one too. Might as well.
I started a trend.
I usually print what I need, but.
got it going.
The trends.
Well, this
Like
is, it's pretty extensive, so that's why I was asking.
That's why I can't flip between screens, so I
Okay,
need to.
I've got Liz, Inez, Matt Bandel, Mike Rebulis, Matt Wagner, and Patrick Carrier, all and Canto. You were just gonna go, James, you feel?
Why not just do it? I'll take one too.
Everybody,
Hey,
Got-
jump on that bandwagon.
Oh, Scott's not, oh, right, November 6th, so you're not here.
I'm not gonna be here the 6th.
So, okay, so you don't need a.
So everyone.
He's a
says-
So I don't want one.
Are you assuming it's
held
gonna be?
I know.
Oh, what if it gets held over?
I was just gonna say, you're assuming.
Don't hold it over.
Well, but then,
Is it new?
if,
it's new
so,
business day
but if,
cut off.
it,
So we should.
Public hearing.
so you'd have
Public- it
to,
is public.
you'd have to go back through all the
Yeah.
recordings, so they might as well, even if it does get held over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They, whoever,
it's-
one of our alternates would just
that.
continue in December then.
This.
okay, I don't want one.
Or-
No, that's fine.
Shannon, I won't be here the 6th
Oh, we did.
You're not here the 6th
or the 23rd.
And it's the,
or the 23rd.
it's the 8 dash.
Time, huh?
Gotcha.
Jeez.
Touche.
So with that, do you still? you
Yes.
Still want the 1600? You still want the full set? Okay. All right, so I've got some copies. I'm gonna have to get more to cover everybody. So once I've got them in, I'll let you know. You can come pick them up if you're around, and if not, we'll hit different corners and drop them off on doorsteps if needed.
Thank you.
Okay. The only other thing then is the accessory apartment regulation. You'll see, after we had our last meeting, Mr. Galvin called me the following day. We chatted about accessory dwelling unit versus inclusionary zoning and a variety of things, which then precipitated Mr. Galvin submitting an application with to change the current accessory apartment regulation. Garrett and I have started to go through it. We've also started to take perhaps a different tack. So that's available. It's just text. It's available online.
Okay.
I think it's.
Okay.
And what we'll do is we'll start to get these posted a little earlier than we normally would have so that you've got access to them. So Sandy and I will have fun with that. We'll start tackling that tomorrow and get. Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll get on the next 2 meetings worth of applications so that they're there. So,
Thank you.
And then Garrett and I will be working with the Galvins over the next few weeks to see where this goes for the 6th.
Excellent.
And that's it.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
On the Metro Realty, that's a 8-30.
G.
What does that mean for us?
You still, the way Metro, submits their application, they do the full zone change. So similar to the way the 80 South Road application came in.
Okay.
So it's gonna be the same. They've created a text, their own zoning regulation to fit what they want to develop.
Okay.
So Garrett's already gone through it and compared it to what we did and some of the pushing and pulling we did with 80 South Road. We're gonna do some of the same. At the end of the day, if the commission were to deny the application because it's 8-30G, the burden of proof for the denial rests with the commission rather than if we deny it, the applicant, right, the applicant has that burden of proof showing that they complied, right? They don't have to do that. The burden of proof falls to the commission with an 8-30G. So it shifts that burden of proof only in the event that there's a denial.
Okay.
The rest of it for us is gonna process really very similar. And it's gonna go just like it did with the 80 South Road. There's a regulation, right? So as they've created their own regulation, then they're gonna do a zone change to that zone. And then there's a site plan review
Okay.
for that. So there's a public hearing for the text and for the zone change, and then the site plan review.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay. Shannon, question for you. Did Jeff say this or am I thinking? He said that the 402 Farmington Ave we may have resolution, like legal resolution at the end of October. Did he say that?
We were supposed to have,
Okay.
have it today.
Oh, okay.
And then as he made reference, so we were supposed to have it at the end of September and then, or early September, I can't remember now. We were supposed to have it in September. And 2 days before the due date of the decision, there was a request by the court to extend it. It must have been a month. It was in September, extended a month, which brought us to today. Yesterday, there was another request that was posted to the judicial website with an extension to, right now, the extension's to October 20th.
Okay.
So we should have a decision by the close of business, October 20th, that gets posted to the judicial websites.
That would be great. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the best we know at the moment.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Yes.
Any questions for Shannon before we vote on the minutes?
Just a quick version, how's that apartment complex next to Union School going? I know that you had said that there was somebody working and it was the most serious so far.
So, we've gotten through easement documents. We said, so there were text changes to easement documents. There's a conservation easement and a trail easement. So we've gone through that. We had gone through another iteration of site plan comments. Bruce and I got those out to them. I'm gonna say 3-4 weeks ago. The architectural drawings are in and those are being reviewed. We've actually hired a consultant to do the architectural drawings because of the type of construction that's being done. So they've got pieces in play to start and there's a handful of things that are left from a site plan standpoint that are really, at this point, it's the, hey, we're ready to get a shovel in the ground and there's schedules and public notification platforms in place as far as the earthwork that needs to be done at the property because some of it is remediation work. But I do not have a date for shovel in the ground.
But probably close though, it sounds like.
I am hopeful.
Yeah.
That's as best as I got for you, unfortunately, but
How many
yes.
apartments is that again, Shannon?
Excuse me?
How many?
How many,
Units?
70.
Just approximately.
I want to say there's like 230,
I can't believe that.
230, there's, yeah, I want to say it's over 200.
Mm,
That's good. That's right.
okay. All right,
Anyway.
good,
Good.
good. How
Yeah.
about minutes? If we can have a motion and second to approve September minutes, please.
Sure, you got me mid-yawn.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the September 27th, 2023 Town Plan and Zoning Commission meeting.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome. 8:30, meeting adjourned.